Everybody says eat the rich, but y'all don't even got a menu. Luckily, you got me, and I can help you out a little bit. Welcome back to the deep state ain't deep or state. It's just rich assholes running the government as rich assholes do. People are afraid of this word right here. This word right here. It gets people's panties in a twist. But this is also true as like half of these dudes are like phrenologists. Version 2.0, we got new names, we got old names. Some people have moved around, some people have stayed in the same place. I also just realized I misspelled this sad excuse of a human being's name. That's my fault. Anyway, this could basically be broken down into 3 tiers. We got the philosophy, we got the money, and we got the government, the man. So starting in the philosophy tier, these are our appetizers. We got Nick Land, who invented accelerationism, which eventually turned into Dark Enlightenment, which was invented by Curtis Yarvin. He's the guy that wants to turn the entire US into a company town. Then from there we got Leonard Leo. He's the head of the Federalist Society. He basically believes the same thing these two believe in, but like remixes it to make it sound more professional. This can also be tied into the Heritage Foundation, but we moved them to their own tier because they basically fund everything. They are a super rich think tank though, so they could be either up here or down here. Like their spot in all this is still pretty fucking big. Right underneath that, we got the money tier. These are the main funders of this. These guys is fucking bullshit. We got the Koch brothers. These dudes, they are basically the reason this Heritage Foundation even exists. We got Larry Fink, who is the CEO of BlackRock, also known as the reason why we're always in the Middle East and why you can't buy a house. He owns all of them. Then we got Peter Thiel, who is the original inventor of Palantir and I think PayPal or some shit, but basically he's the guy that doesn't think that humanity should continue to exist and wants to upload his consciousness to a computer, turn us into biofuel. He's also directly responsible for Alex Karp, who is the current CEO of Palantir and the guy who's working on the Minority Report AI thought crime machine. And if we skip a little bit further to the bottom, Peter Thiel is also directly responsible for JD Vance's entire career. This dude is dangerous. I know JD Vance is at the bottom. That's more so because I hate him and I think he's dumb. He's still very dangerous as he's directly tied to this guy and that dude. Then we got Elon Musk, of course. This is the guy who has all of our information and probably sold our information to this dude, and is also the one who is currently destroying both the city of Memphis, Tennessee, and I think Brownsville, Texas, which he's turning into a company town. The Memphis, Tennessee thing is because he put his fucking supercomputer down there, just pumping chlorine into the atmosphere. Like, it's really bad. He's poisoning that city. We got Mark Zuck again. I moved him up because he's a billionaire and because he's lied to Congress multiple times and bragged about it on Joe Rogan, and yet nobody did anything about it, which means he's doing his role exactly correct. And we already talked about Alex Karp. He's Peter Thiel's blow-up doll, current CEO of Palantir. He sucks. Now, the main proxy for all of these dudes is this big bad wolf right here, the Heritage Foundation. They've been around since Ronald Reagan and Nixon, which should tell you exactly what you need to know about them because they were funding both of those. Now we're getting to the government tier. These are the people who are directly funded by these guys. These are their operatives. This is who is running the government right now and why it's running like shit. We got Stephen Miller. Good old Stephen Manilli, motherfucking the super duper pooper scooper. He's the guy that is a phrenologist. He's super racist. He believes that there should only be 100 million people in the US and they should all be white, which means that he doesn't even want all white people in the US. You should not like him because even in his world, some of you are not making the cut. Next, we got Russell Vought, who is the reason why Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security are basically fucking cooked if that big beautiful bill goes through, which it did. Sad. He is the reason. He wants everybody to go into medical bankruptcy. This nigga is evil. You can look him up. He wants your grandma to die. He wants your grandma to die. Literally, like cartoonishly evil. Next, we got Mike Lee, who's basically like these two dudes, except he's a senator. Next, we got JD Vance. This dude is a sleeper. This is a sleeper killer right here, okay? This is the secret sauce, okay? Because he's directly funded by Peter Thiel. He believes everything this nigga believes in, and this nigga does not want us to continue to exist. This is why we gotta be a little bit careful with the rhetoric about, it happening to DJT, because if this nigga takes over, it could be real bad. Now, the good thing about him is that he has the charisma of a fucking rusted nail, so he might not be able to control the party at all, but like this nigga, don't sleep on him. He's dangerous. I know he's near the bottom of the tier list. He's in the dessert tier. These guys are the appetizers and the mains, but he's dangerous. We got DJT. You already know who he is. Racist, billionaire, old. bankrupted 8 casinos. Like, he's dumb. He's just doing everything for money, which makes him the perfect puppet for all of these dudes. We got RFK Jr., who's basically here to destabilize what remains of our medical systems and defund research, which will, you know, cripple the American government so these dudes can come in and buy it all. And we got Tom Homan, who's basically the head of ICE. He's the reason that they've become a Gestapo. Basically, he's Stephen Miller's blow-up doll and making all of his wet dreams come true. Then we got the rest of the 1%, you know, the rest of the elites, the rest of the Epstein clientele. Because if these guys win, they win. They do not give a shit about us. Yes, including ones you like, Beyonce, Taylor Swift. They're in this. They're in this. If these guys win, they win. We gotta stay focused. And I know one thing's for sure: Jay-Z head ass definitely in this bitch. Like, he definitely in this bitch right here. And we got Bill Gates and Mark Andreessen as honorable mentions. This guy doesn't want any affordable housing in California, and this dude is buying up all our farmland to do something with it. I don't know. The reason I didn't go into a deep dive on them or wrap them into this is because these dudes aren't directly in control. And when you start talking about Bill Gates and Mark Andreessen, you start attracting Nazis and flat earthers and anti-vaxxers. And as an African-American pre-medical biological science major and degree haver and in Lord willing future Mayo Clinic surgical assistant, I do not align with those motherfuckers. Those dudes are also evil and bad and stupid, but they are billionaires and they are in this rest of the 1% tier. Like, they're not good people. Bill Gates literally in the 90s made it so if computers didn't use Internet Explorer that they'd break. Like, this nigga's been shiesty since day one. But another sleeper that I didn't know about was definitely the Koch brothers. Now, I didn't go too deep on them because, you know, for similar reasons for these guys, I'm not trying to attract fucking Nazis over here. However, these dudes have like put up like a perfect facade because they invest in green energy. However, they want to own all green energy. They want to own all renewable energy, which is bad. And they also directly fund the Heritage Foundation, which directly funds these guys. And like, they like once you start digging in on them, like the facade starts to disappear. Anyway, I gotta say this next part so you actually see the video. Dave's Sweet Tooth Toffee. It's the toffiest. It'll toff ya. It'll sweet tooth ya. It'll tooth ya. It'll Dave ya.